I am Michael Damiani, and I have watched Castlevania Season 2.
I am Brad Ellis, and I have watched Castlevania Season 2.
Final warning. Spoiler mode activated.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode, activated.
Hello, everyone. It is the week of Halloween.
Ooh.
What a perfect time for some spooky Netflix shows.
Yeah.
A lot of them dropping, but none probably that have piqued our interest more than Castlevania.
Yes.
The Netflix's adaptation of Konami's vampire hunting series. And after season 1, I think there was a lot left on the table for the potential of season 2.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone was like, this is going to go some good directions here. Good vibes for season 2. That trailer, good stuff. Now that you've finally watched it, what a ride.
Yeah,
I can
man.
say.
It's crazy.
That was insanity in a good way.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how it was night and day. Season 1 for me, by the end, I felt really good.
Yeah.
By that final sequence with Alucard and Trevor fighting and them coming to the realization, yeah, we're going to fight together. I was like, I'm in. We're going to go take out Dracula. I was like, okay, I'm hard in. There were some moments in the first 2 episodes, because it was a short season. It was like,
it was like 4
episodes.
Yeah.
I was a little worried. I was a little bit worried. And by the second half, I was fully on board. But from the get-go of season 2, all in, baby.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, felt so good. And I said right from the get-go, because it starts off with this really great sequence of going back and seeing Lisa, Alucard's mother, Dracula's wife. We already saw that she got burnt at the stake by the bishop after the church and the Inquisition. And that's why Dracula is on a rampage, essentially, to erase humanity. But you actually get to see the events that led up to this. Like, well, why did they go after her? Did they know she was Dracula's wife and stuff? And you find out she was just like a doctor.
Yeah.
And Dracula gave her lost knowledge that humanity used to have. Science, modern medicine and stuff. And she was treating a villager.
The old lady. She was in season 1. Yeah.
Gave her a potion and stuff. And it's like, here you go. And she's going to feel better. And you're like, wow, like she's like, this is great. Like, Dracula's traveling the world. You know, becoming more cultured,
living as a human,
understanding and appreciating like humans and like why there's a need for a peaceful coexistence. And as she's like escorting the old woman out, there's the church just
busting
waiting
in.
there, just like. It's like
gotcha.
Just like storms in, goes to the back. Oh, I knew it. Alchemy and witchcraft. And she's like, Lisa's there trying to argue with them. Like, have you ever wondered, like, oh, this is logical and stuff? Like, someone listen to reason. Like, this is what the terror you face when people are like so irrational.
Yeah.
And like, the fanaticism that's associated sometimes with this, that they refuse to see anything but their own way. Like, just to see her become scared as she realizes what's happening. She's like, no, like at first she's nonchalant, like you guys are just crazy.
Yeah, it's no big. Yeah.
And then when the dialysis machine or whatever that was, the thing that like spins like the beaks,
freaks that guy out.
Like moves on its own. He's like, it's witchcraft. I was like, oh shit, she is so screwed. Like, I just thought it was a really good like opening scene.
Even more context,
set the tone.
Season 1 started with her, and so did season 2.
And it pays off because like one of the major arcs for Alucard's character and Dracula is this like turmoil they're dealing with over the season about their Lisa. Family. Like Dracula, like I want to start there with Dracula.
Okay.
Dracula's supposed to be like this villain. Like in Castlevania, he's always been like this, this omnipresent being who shows up. It's like, oh god, this is like the ultimate evil and stuff. And we saw in season 1 like he was hell-bent on revenge, but he's like just a beaten down
He's like depressed,
in severe depression, Brad. Like just does not, all he cares is that humanity gets eradicated. They're like, we'll make them suffer. We'll make them suffer. He's like, I don't even care anymore if they suffer.
Yeah, what did Alucard say? He was like on a suicide mission almost.
Yeah.
Like he wants to die.
He's the great way to put it. And like, it was like, I knew he was like, what he was doing was this heinous act of genocide, but also was like, man, like, can someone just help him? Like, holy crap. Like, but it was like, it's just in the enemy mode. Like, someone just put me out of my misery.
Yeah, very sad and lonely individual.
And it was surprising because I was expecting like more anger, more like, passion out of him, and it was just so like the depression was so severe for him. He just he had lost all will.
Yeah,
he didn't put up any resistance in most sequences to anyone. He just like
yeah.
He would get angry a few times when he needed to like posture to show he was still in charge, but he was just like, yeah, do this, do that. I'm trusting you to do this. And
he just wanted to sit in his like little den area by the fire.
That, like little room there. This was like a little room of requirements, just like what he needed. But I don't know. It was just like that was an interesting angle to go with.
Yeah,
like with his
they're
characterization.
showing a bit more humanity towards Dracula. I mean, they did in season 1. Kind of like why he is the way he is, I guess, even though he's gone completely off the deep end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad they still dealt with it and he wasn't just like completely bloodthirsty the whole time. Like he was more depressed than I thought he would be. I thought he would be like out on the front lines way more.
Yeah.
But he was just kind of chilling back, letting everyone else handle it.
It was an interesting thing to see how someone who could be filled with so much rage and anger that they become so subdued by this time. That shows like even going through like the thing that sets you off the most, like that there was still even someone like that could come to some sense of like not want to like scorch earth, make everyone suffer.
Yeah.
He still wants his goal to be accomplished, but like he's relinquished some of like the hatred, I guess, or at least the anger is the more correct word to say there. And I think they did a really good job with that. I think they did a really good job with Dracula, and I think that like. The foil to that with Alucard's story, that Alucard's dealing with so much like him. We all know this story. Like he's a person caught between two worlds, half human, half vampire. Doesn't exactly fit in with either. You can see like he's obviously in the Belmont Hold. Yeah, this whole like generations of work dedicated to killing the vampire side of his lineage and stuff. And you see a lot of friction between him and Trevor Belmont, the other hero of the show. That they butt heads a lot and stuff like that, but you also see like he realizes, you can tell he knows what he has to do, but he understands the gravity of that. He even asked Trevor at one point, "Do you understand the magnitude of what we're going to be doing?" Yeah,
I mean he's supposed to kill his dad.
Yeah, so there you go.
Trying to deal with that, even though he knows that's what his dad's doing is wrong. He's doing what his mother would want, pretty much.
Exactly, but like it doesn't make it any less easy for him, which is like
they definitely like show that the last episode too. Okay, they really get into that too.
That was like a really good finale. Like,
I
love
so
that
too.
Because I was like, what? I didn't know what to expect at that point. Like he just killed his father. He's sitting in the chair. He has a flashback memory of his mother walking and like looking at him as Dracula. Like he's now seeing he's in the castle and seeing these memories.
He's becoming his dad.
He's
pretty
seeing
much now,
the world through the eyes of his dad a little bit, and like him just breaking down like that. Yeah, like Alucard's a character you think is like associated with badass, flipping around, doing like cool swings and Symphony in the Night and stuff like that.
And he does.
And now you're like, geez, like emotional, like wreck. Like I liked seeing that. I liked seeing the vulnerabilities.
I think that was great.
And it means there's a lot more for his arc to go. Yeah. Like he's not done. Like the killing his father is not the end for Alucard as well. But we talked about Trevor. Yeah. Trevor Belmont and Sypha, the speaker who you introduced in season 1. Yep. They make up the last two characters of the 3-character kind of protagonist team here. Yeah. After meeting each other in Greshit, I believe it's pronounced, finding Alucard, they decide to team up.
Yeah, just like 3.
And Castlevania 3 vibes.
No
there, baby.
Grant though. No Grant.
Can't be an exact, thing.
I think if they do Grant, they'll save him for the next season.
That'll be an interesting topic about where the future goes for this. We'll have a question about that later.
Oh, sorry.
But no. Like, I don't want to jump too far ahead. But the dynamic between them, like we already talked about, like Trevor and Alucard,
Alucard and Trevor kind of
rivals,
and
rivals.
Sypha's the kind of the glue between them,
of course,
that holds them together.
Good dynamic. Trevor though, like we saw him like at the end of season 1, he's basically like, maybe I can be like this, like there's something more to me. Yeah. Like he still doesn't, like he knows he can fight, but like he's this drunk who's
he's
just
a beaten down drunk
just
kind
like,
of thing.
I have enough skill to get through life.
Yeah.
I don't need to and I don't give a shit about anyone else but myself. And I think the beauty of his arc in season 2 is that the reason he's butting heads so much to Alucard, and the reason he has like Sypha coming at him a lot, like, hey, wake up, you idiot, basically, is that he slowly comes to the realization that, like, hey, you know, you have this lineage. You could be something more meaningful. Not only not because it's destiny and you're supposed to do it, but because you find purpose in this. Like, you really do. You're denying yourself this like greater purpose because whatever, you're like a drunk and stuff. And I feel like of the three, between him and Alucard, at least, I think it's easy to argue like which one might have had more character development, but like to me, Trevor had like very good moments in there where he starts to like, not only does he like start to accept his destiny, but he begins to believe in his abilities and stuff, and like, I'm gonna do this, and like he becomes even more of like a quote unquote badass.
Yeah, he becomes the Belmont he always should have been. Yeah, pretty much.
Like the scene where he finally pulls out Morningstar, a vampire killer, and he's like, I can't believe it and stuff, and he's like holding it, and I'm like, all right, here we go, like become like it's like Aragorn holding.
Yeah, he takes the Morningstar, and he also takes Leon's sword. I noticed.
Yeah, longsword. I believe
his longsword. Yeah,
which I wrote down the notes. It's from Dawn of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin is apparently where that blade is from.
Oh, okay.
Like, nice little like Castlevania wiki. I was like, well, that's where it's from. Yeah, thank you for. But yeah, getting those weapons and stuff, and seeing him in action again was like really good. Seeing him use more than just like his basic combat hand in the first. Like I feel like I want to talk about that real quick.
Sure.
Like the combat, how they fight. The fighting styles in this, I really like them.
Yeah, me too.
Between like Alucard, like the moment where he uses his sword and it like follows him around,
floats
and stuff,
around
like,
him,
floats around, so cool.
Yeah.
But the way that Trevor fights with Vampire Killer, like not necessarily just like whipping it like a chain, but like bending it, like curling it, like using it in melee range. Like I love that.
Yeah,
like it
I
was
think they did a really great job with that. Yeah,
and yeah, just like another scene that stood out so much to me, Brad, was Sypha using the icicle she formed to counter a sword. Like, you don't think magic wielders can like fight melee range or like long range filth type. She's going toe to toe with the melee sword user, parrying those like attacks and stuff.
She was like close range fighting like, Dracula.
That's like awesome. I was like, they did a really good job with the combat. But yeah. How did you feel? I mean, did you feel good about like the characterization of like the main cast? Pretty much.
Yeah, I felt really good about him, especially from what it's based off, which is Castlevania 3, which is an NES game where there is like there's like no story really, pretty much. And I think they did a really good job of capturing those characters and giving like a purpose and a motivation of why they're doing things like that.
I liked it. Yeah, I did like it. I liked the teasing of like the Belmont clan stuff. We don't go like full like deep dive into there.
He's the last one at this point.
Yeah, like the house is like in ruins. There's like a hold beneath the surface where like their museum, their archives of all this like knowledge.
I was very pleased with a lot of that part because when I saw the picture of Leon, because I've played both the PS2 ones, so this season 2 is very satisfying to me in that sense. I was like, oh, this is good. This is good already because he is the one that starts the lineage of the Belmonts hunting Dracula and stuff like that. So I was immediately satisfied with that.
Very tasteful. I love how they don't overindulge.
It's the picture of him from Lament of Innocence too. I think in one of it's either some character art or a picture in the game of him.
Looked extremely similar to
it's like the same picture. Yeah.
Like I love that. Like I love that they did that, but they don't go full deep dive in there. Like if you know the backstory of those games, like it's obviously more in depth, but it wasn't necessary for this.
Right.
And I like that. That's the stuff you don't need to like go full on into. I did like the heroes. I liked their development. I loved a lot about them, and we got introduced to a lot of new characters though. Yeah. Especially on Dracula's side.
Yeah, a lot of this season 2 was like that side of the story going on. Little Game of Thrones vibes going on.
Yeah, Brad, it totally was. So while Dracula's brooding in his room and stuff, he's got a war council. Yeah. He's got this like group of like vampire generals who are leading the war, his armies of the dead essentially. And so there's a very unique things about them. Like it's supposed to be an all vampire court. And you see like their voices early on. The one who probably sticks out the most early on is God Brand.
Sure, yeah.
So can we just
Very
call this
loud,
the
brash.
Huber vampire?
Yeah,
right
he's
here?
very Huber vibes.
Like
Bloodlust.
vampire Viking.
Yeah.
He goes. He goes. I only do 3 things. Like eat, make love with the F word, basically, and then goes and make boats out of things.
Yep.
I'm a Viking. It's
Yep.
what we do.
Yep.
I was like,
Yeah.
my gosh. Whoever wrote this had a lot of fun with this. Like they had a good time. But 2 interesting members. And if you know the games, you're familiar with these characters.
Yeah.
Hector and Isaac.
Right, from Curse of Darkness.
The human generals who Dracula's actually entrusting the War Council to.
Yeah.
Because he points out they are, not because of their loyalty, because they are humans who are serving in a cause to eradicate their kind. And their backstories, man.
Very different from the games, actually.
Yeah, all I was able to glean from, like, I looked up a summary of the game, 'cause it's the one I haven't touched, was that, like, one of them killed the other's fiance.
Right, Isaac killed Hector's fiance, that's why Hector is chasing Isaac in Curse of Darkness.
Okay. Which has nothing to do with this one, at least not yet. It's basically they do both hate humanity for their own reason. Hector, they're both devil forge masters.
Yes.
They can bring back the dead to life. And that's how Dracula's armies are created outside of the vampires themselves. Hector was, as a kid, brought back his dead pets to life, essentially. And it freaked everyone out around him, so that like they treat him as a pariah outcast. So essentially he was like forced to flee and live alone and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's very naive.
Yes.
Dracula sees that in him, and initially, when he proposes that he needs his help, when his wife was murdered, he comes to Hector first, I believe, and asks him, like, "Can you build me an army? I need you to like help me out." But he lies to him. He tells him, "Oh, I'm just here to make humanity like suffer punishment."
Yeah.
He doesn't outright tell him.
He
He's
says
there
it
to
like more.
eradicate
He
them.
like says it's going to be more humane or something like that. The process.
It's a calling, and they're going to become like the cattle.
The cattle,
essentially.
yeah.
And Hector likes this. Like, it's order and control,
Yes.
but not eradication.
Yeah, I think they said Hector is very like childlike in his mentality and thinking.
And that gets the better of him later on. Whereas Isaac is, I think, a little bit more brutal.
Yes.
Like, basically, it was a slave. This, like, church member was, like, heavily abusing him. And all he wanted to do was, like, please his master.
Yeah.
Like, he was trying to do everything to help him. And even after he professed, like, all I ever do for you is because, like, I love you, master, and want to protect you. And he goes, let me show you I don't give a shit about this. And, like, starts beating the crap out of him. And Isaac snaps. And that scene where he takes back power is like, no.
That, like, whip thing or whatever.
Yeah, like, the thing that, like, I don't know what it's called and stuff, but, like, some, you usually see it in, like, Christianity stuff where they, like, have to, like, whip themselves for any time they commit a sin or something. And he uses that, but like that's why he wants to eradicate humanity.
Yeah.
Because in the face of doing everything possible to, show love and affection, he was showing like abuse and hatred.
Yeah, much more hatred compared to Hector.
Yeah, he's definitely way more cold.
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah. He's much more of like a killer.
And as the season went on, he definitely feels like, because you see Hector start to be tempted by notions of like going against Dracula
from Carmilla.
Isaac never wavers.
No, he's always super loyal to Dracula.
And it's so fact that was shot. Like, I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but the encounter with
Godbrand,
Godbrand,
yeah, that was cool.
It was like, yo, thank you for telling me my plan and revealing to me there are traitors in this court. I was like, jeez.
And he kills him.
Murders
graphically,
him. And then like like has own little ritual of like scattering his ashes to the wind and stuff. And I was like, where'd Godbrand go? It can't be that hard to find him. But you're right about Hector, because you mentioned Carmilla, another Castlevania mainstay.
Yeah, she's in some of them.
I mean, she's in like a lot of the games.
Yeah,
well, a few of them.
Her role's usually not as prominent.
Yeah, she was
in Lords of Shadow, both of them.
Oh, she was?
Yeah,
I haven't touched those games.
And I think she's a boss in 2. Like, even in the Smash trailer, like the mask, that's like representative of her, kind of thing like that.
Okay. Like, she clearly has her own agenda.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's clear from the moment she steps in. Very, as you said, very Game of Thrones.
She's very manipulative.
Yeah, she's there for her own intentions. She basically wants to unseat Dracula, but you also get her backstory.
Yeah.
She will never listen to like old.
Yeah.
Like old men
again. She got turned by a guy.
Yeah.
for a long time. She served him. And he's
and
like, bad to her.
Yeah, and then she
threw him out a window with a
like
noose on his neck.
with a spike
Noose. Yeah, that was awesome.
Him. Very, very violent. The show. I mean, if you didn't know from
I think
season
this
1,
show has to be violent.
Yeah,
if someone told me like they're making this, like it has to be violent.
they set the tone with season 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
All that violent
of
stuff,
course.
like you need to come in and expect. You shouldn't be surprised. And but I mean, her trying to her manipulating Hector because she sees exactly what like Dracula saw. That very naive, very easily
manipulated,
persuaded to do stuff, and she has this master plan, and that's kind of like the first half of the that season is convincing Dracula the next course of action
to attack that town,
to attack Brela or to attack some other city or go back to reclaim Greshit or something or I don't know. It was supposed to attack some other town, and Carmilla wants them to attack Brela. And it's a pretty good argument because apparently Brela is a bottleneck for Wallachia, the country where this all takes place, and that if they capture that, there is no easy escape route now for the humans because they're surrounded by mountains, and that's the only path out of there. They have them boxed in, and it'll be easy to slaughter them all.
Yeah.
And she convinces even Hector, and even Isaac agrees with it, with the logic that they should go there. But what a plan! They tip their hat about crossing water. The reason the court is against it is because there's a giant river there, and you have to cross over it. And vampires going over running water is a terrible fear for them. Because I was like, why? I forget why. What is the mythology for this? And then that sequence,
right?
The bringing the dead bishop back or priest from the season 1,
he makes it holy water,
and making bless the water. And then the vampires try and cross this long bridge over water, and they essentially Carmilla has her forces waiting to ambush, and they just break down the bridge, and they all the vampires fall into the water. Yeah, and I was like, holy crap! There you go. That's wow.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
It was basically, as you said, Jones, Game of Thrones. It's like the Battle of the Blackwater Bay, basically, with the wildfire. It was that devastating. I was like, whoa. I was like, damn, Dracula's in trouble. Either Dracula's going to have to show his face now, or what's going to happen. But a twist happens. The castle that teleported to Brela doesn't stay there very long.
Right.
Because Sypha becoming all-powerful with her
knowledge
magic abilities.
They've read,
back at the Belmont Hold, learns the ability to, basically control the engine in the castle. And forces it. That sequence where it's trying to jump around.
That sphere. That's
it looks like the Symphony of Night.
It is.
Save thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I love that reference. That was so cool. But the sequence of them trying to jump the castle around, it keeps messing up.
Yeah, going everywhere, teleporting everywhere. Yeah.
And that's what eventually foils Carmilla's plan because it teleports into the middle of the water and screws up her armies and stuff, and they can't now cross.
Right, because some of her army gets into the castle, actually.
So a few of them are in the castle, but the rest of them gets, blocked off, and then it warps the hell out of there because Trevor, Sypha, and Alucard are trying to bring it to Belmont Hold because they want to infiltrate it. I love Carmilla's face when it all goes down.
Yeah.
She's like, what the F just happened? She just can't believe it. Oh, man. But references, Brad.
So many.
There are some good things. When they're making their way to the Belmont Hold, and they're making their camp at night, and they're ambushed by the monsters.
Oh yeah, that was a boss from Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, the guy carrying the other
bird
dude.
with the spear.
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew that. Yeah, right off the bat.
So
yeah,
awesome.
heck yeah.
That was there. I mean, there are a lot of Easter eggs like that, but episode 7, when they finally arrive at the castle.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Brad.
My only disappointment with this season is how quick the castle was. What I would want is them going through the castle area by area, kind of like the game, and Dracula being at the top in his tower like he usually is. But they kind of get into the main hall, then they're right at Dracula immediately. I wish I saw a little more of the castle. They show the castle to an extent, Isaac and Hector's areas where they kind of work, stuff like that. But I wanted to see more of the clock tower or something like that, more of the church area, stuff like that.
I feel that. I definitely Would love to see that.
Yeah, like I just wanted them going through like area by area, kind of something like that. It didn't even have to be that long.
Maybe they're saving it for a future season.
Right. I mean, this isn't the
But
end. Yeah.
I think expectation. I'm with you, Brad. The expectation once they arrived, we're going through this castle.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight our way through the castle to the top.
like if the last like 2 or 3 episodes of the castle,
it would have
been awesome. Because the castle is like massive. It's massive.
It's like it's iconic.
Yeah.
And it's something that like you want to spend a lot of time in.
Right. Because like the games you do.
I see that.
But
I see that's fair.
That's just like my personal nitpick with it. And it's just like a minor nitpick from me.
Okay. But how about when that music kicks in, Brad?
Oh, yeah, Bloody Tears when they
Bloody
storm
Tears
it. Yeah.
Kicks in when they like all the vampires stop fighting each other.
They see
so
them,
you said
yeah.
like a few of the Carmela's forces got in there to fight Dracula's forces.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting.
They're brawling.
The
Yeah.
door opens and you just like see close up on vampire teeth like gnawing and like grinding. Like they're like
They see his morning star.
yeah, they sense that like doom has come for them, and then they all turn around in unison and charge.
Yeah.
And then the fight begins in vampire.
It's a very good fight.
Bloody Tears, sorry, as he uses Vampire Killer. My only thing was that like the repetitive nature of the song, like it just kept like I mean, it's awesome, but and it was just, it was so, but here's the point: it was such a damn good payoff. Like there's been like teases of the music here and there, but like just to have it full blown
Fully
cover
like
of it,
go into
just,
it. Yeah.
it's like so good. Like I was just like, let's go time. I was like so pumped.
I was very pleased when Alucard turned into a wolf. I was
That
very
too,
pleased.
yes.
I was like, yes.
Oh, like
good.
that whole
He's using his
sequence, when he
shape-shifting.
unsheathes his sword and
it
so,
floats by him,
it's just
yeah.
floating, so he doesn't even like hold the other end. So good. We talked about about everyone fighting in that scene. It was really good. Just like it was like the hypest moment, and then even the Dracula fight. I know.
Oh my god, so intense. I was like Avon Children style, dude, like flying through the castle.
Just like, oh my gosh, like Dracula just like initially like you were just out, all of you were outclassed. Then like the fireball sequence, how they actually
he
use
does the
teamwork.
fireball, yep.
Oh,
That was really cool.
so good. And then like the final thing, like Alucard versus him, and then like Trevor coming in with a long sword and the
Cutting his head.
shot.
I really love that scene where they get into Alucard's room and they're fighting, and Dracula just kind of realizes like
Yes.
what he's doing. He's killing their boy, is what he's saying.
It's just like the scene in not Two Towers, the Return of the King. When what's his face the I'm forgetting every single name now about Lord of the Rings, but the White City or whatever.
Gondor?
Yeah, Gondor. Jesus,
Yeah.
I can't believe why I can't remember that damn name. Minas Tirith.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Minas Tirith.
Yeah, I can't remember
There you go.
either.
I was like,
It's been a while.
Minas Tirith and I think it's Denethor or whatever. It's Boromir and Faramir's father.
Dad, yeah.
And he's trying to
Burn
burn
his
Faramir,
son.
and then like he has that moment of clarity, of lucidity, and he's like, "What am I doing? My son, my like, I only get like it same felt like that to me was like just like Dracula, like just hit with that sudden wave of reason to break him from
Yeah,
that
he's
hole."
like doing what his wife wouldn't want.
And he's just like, I have like while I have this power, I was like, he's like, it's basically felt to me like end me now. Like while I have like
Yeah.
control and can hold myself back, this is the moment to finish me.
Yeah, and Alucard
what a-
knows he has to.
And what a place to do
Struggles,
it.
in his room.
Woof. The
Yeah.
intensity and the emotion of that.
I was half expecting him to go in his like demon form,
Oh.
but he just died. I was like, oh, okay.
But you know,
I mean,
come on.
Yeah, no, I don't got a problem with it at all. I don't.
No, not talking about come on like that. Like, I mean, Dracula's gonna come back.
Oh
They make
yeah,
more
I mean,
seasons,
the
Dracula's
nature of
come
it is he's
back.
supposed to come back every
Dracula's
100
come
years.
back. Come on, I know. Like, they gotta save that awesome form from down the line.
Yeah.
But overall, like before we get into some like questions, I mean, I don't know if
sure.
there's anything else you want to talk about, but like I wanted to ask, yeah, you felt pretty good about this. Like,
Yeah.
you liked it.
Yeah. I felt very good about it. I was very pleased the last episode was just pretty much wrapping everything up, setting to where it's gonna go.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. The final episode, and so like we had at least 3 or 4 people ask where this is gonna go in the future, and like that last episode sets up the breadcrumbs.
Right.
When we resolve it, so Castlevania or like Dracula's castle is right next to Belmont Estate essentially, and they're kind of like, what do we do now? And Trevor relinquishes Belmont Estate
To Alucard.
He
Yeah.
goes, you now own both and you protect them. So we already talked about what happened with Alucard at the end. Trevor and Sypha decide that they're gonna journey together. Essentially, Sypha's like, not, as subtly as she can, is like, I want to be with you. Like, let's stick together. We make a good team, but also more than that. But she's like, well, first I want to go find my speaker friends. Like, we need to go. I want to go find them and check in on them and stuff, and then we can do some other stuff after that. So they're setting out on that. In the final battle sequence before it began, Dracula basically heard one last impassioned speech from Isaac about his loyalty, and Dracula, I think, realized, like, you're too good for this. Like, I'm not making you die for me,
Isaac. Yeah,
and he sends him away, like Doctor Strange style, through the glass, sends him into like a desert. And Hector is now in a desert. Some humans come across him at a watering hole, or sorry, like a little just like a lake, pond, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess it's a water hole. Sorry,
like an oasis or something.
Yeah, an oasis. That's the word I was looking for. Thanks, Brad. And they're trash talking him, and like he's just like, he's had enough. Obviously he kills them, but then he makes them into his demon army. He's like, wait a second, I can just make a demon army. He goes, you know what? I think I like that. Basically, like, I don't want to, every time I want to take a drink of damn water, have to deal with this crap.
Right.
So he's like, this is my solution. I'm going to go traveling on, and anyone I come across who disagrees with me, they're just going to become part of my undead army, essentially.
I wonder if he's going to attempt to resurrect Dracula, because I'm pretty sure he wants to do that in Curse of Darkness.
Oh, he's fierce.
So,
yeah. Even when
I wonder if the next season will be him trying to do that, going about that.
I feel like that's the natural trajectory for his course, because
we're going to have 3 parties pretty much in the next season. So we're going to have Carmela and Hector, Belmont, Sypha. Alucard will probably be doing his own thing at this point, and Isaac.
So I agree with you. I think those are like the 3 threads that we need to see go somewhere. We didn't talk about what happened with Carmela and Hector.
Right.
Because after her plan fails, she kind of has to go into hiding within the city till things kind of blow over. And then they're getting ready to leave, and Hector thinks he's going to go his own separate ways. And she enslaves him, and she's like, you're going to be working for me. Also making me undead army
pet
as well.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Her pet.
So
so he's now enslaved.
Yep. So he's got to deal with that, and that's where that arc ends. But I want to give you one of the questions that bring up this theory, and apparently an interview suggested this may be where it goes. There's a potential either in season 3, like all of season 3, or at some point in season 3 we get a time skip.
I was wondering if they're gonna do a time jump,
and potentially it's to skip ahead to Simon Belmont's time.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure if they make Simon Trevor's son or something like that, it's possible. Because I don't want to ruin Curse of Darkness. Actually, there's spoilers in Curse of Darkness to makes me believe, like, it could be Simon. Yeah, taking up the mantle.
So I guess, do you think there's enough material to make a season 3 that is strictly just on the existing stuff, like the existing thread lines? Or do you think they need to like kick it up to like?
Yeah, man. They pretty much this whole series was 2 games, or mostly just 1 game, and they made a whole series out of Castlevania 3, which there's like no story really, barely anything like that. But they threw in elements of Curse of Darkness, so they could do that whole thing of Isaac versus Hector and stuff like that, and Trevor. Then they could throw in Simon. I wonder if they'll do anything with Alucard though. Maybe he'll just be hanging back. No, they'll probably do something with him because of Castlevania, actually. I wonder, though. Like, I'm hoping they'll throw Grant in, like, from Castlevania 3 also. But yeah, I don't know, because if there is a time skip, because it could just turn into Castlevania 1 with Simon.
I don't know if that needs to happen in season 3.
No,
I think
it doesn't.
It's eventually where they will go.
Yeah.
I think that's
like
obvious.
If they want to keep the series to Trevor, I could see it ending, the end of the series with, like, Simon going into Castlevania. Like, the shot from Castlevania 1, and it would, like, end like that or something.
It says to be continued.
Or something like that, yeah.
I like that. I do kind of hope they do. Sorry. I do kind of hope they show Simon at some point, like, I think
he'll be a kid or something like that, young kid.
Yeah, but if they're gonna go all out, like, let's say they're gonna make a 4th season or whatever, and that's gonna begin. Like,
it just
Simon
depends
Belmont.
how long they want to go.
I think the one thing they haven't done, except for the Dracula fight, is these like intense one-on-one like boss style battles.
Yeah,
like,
there's
could translate it into this like show's style and atmosphere, like a battle with death. about
Right, there was no
Medusa,
death, yeah.
like, stuff like
Wow,
that.
there was no death
Yeah,
in this.
like
Yeah,
those,
that's
like
crazy.
the Mummy, like that type
No
of stuff.
Frankenstein,
like, that would be kind of cool to
No
see.
Fishmen.
Yes, it doesn't need all of that, but
Oh, I know.
some of the like was mostly vampire
Death-
themed. There's vampires versus and undead monsters versus them.
I think
And,
death's a really good idea, actually.
like death could be
Because
something.
death is like Dracula's second in command, pretty much.
He could be lingering in the castle.
Yeah.
because that's when Alucard always shows up. Death's like, you're not like, get out of here.
I would really love if season 3 starts with a flashback of Leon and Dracula before he becomes Dracula and how he becomes Dracula. Kind of like him defiling God and everything like that. Walter Bernhardt and all that kind of stuff. I would love to see like just Dracula, how he became Dracula.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because they were both. I always forget his like real human name he had before.
Walter?
No, Walter Bernhardt is a different vampire.
Yeah. Okay, so Walter's the vampire. Leon is
fighting Walter in Lament of Innocence, but then his companion that he fought in the Crusades with.
Yeah,
they were like
I read-
best
I was
friends,
reading
kind of
this,
thing like that.
And I forget. But like they eventually combine or whatever to become Dracula or something, right? Like there's like
Yeah, he like absorbs his.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he becomes a vampire.
and that starts everything.
Yeah, that starts
it could,
the whole.
It could be like
lineage.
an episode long thing.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't need to be a whole series, but like an episode
Yeah.
dedicated to like this. Like it maybe explains how Dracula could be resurrected or something.
yeah, that's
like,
true.
we need
Yeah,
to
how they go
yeah.
about that. Yeah,
Like maybe Alucard comes across a book and he's like, hey, it's a book about like
I
his
wonder,
father's history.
because like Curse of Darkness is about a curse Dracula leaves behind. That's like infecting land after he gets killed in 3.
Yeah, which some people speculate could be one of the angles they go for in season 3 is
Yeah.
that the evil Dracula hasn't been purged from the
Right.
Wallachia yet.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
yeah. A lot of ways this can go.
Definitely.
A lot of characters. Yeah, there's tons of Belmonts they can introduce later on. A lot of
Just a
Belmonts.
few.
Like if they ever wanted to do, I could see them doing, if they skip Simon, or if they do Simon, then eventually doing like Richter, doing that whole Rondo of Blood thing, then doing Symphony of the Night.
They should end with Symphony.
They could end with Symphony of the Night, yeah.
Want to answer some questions?
Yes.
I got some questions.
Ooh.
First one's from Jeremy. What lesson can other video game adaptations take from this series?
What lessons? That not everything has to be a live action movie, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, some things translate better to animation.
Yes.
And I think video games are aided by just going to animation. 'cause
Like I think
everything-
about the World of Warcraft movie, and I
Okay.
think how much cooler it could have been if it was all CG like their cinematics. Like that could have been a lot better movie.
yeah.
Like the rumor
Yeah.
is like a Diablo anime, kind of in the vein of this, which is possible, like which could be really cool. Because some things can translate better in animation. Like they seem to have a much more flexible structure of how they go about telling the story. They could do a certain amount of episodes instead of trying to cram everything in one like 2 hour, an hour and a half movie.
I like that. The lesson I learned, or I would hope people would take away from this, is that there is a way to be faithful and respectful to the source material without literally trying to adapt it
Right.
verbatim.
Yeah.
Like, all you need to do is make your adaptation feel like it could fit in that universe.
Yes, and I think they did. Yeah.
And they did a great job of that. It doesn't literally have to be like, we keep mentioning like Castlevania 3, but like it's not exactly
Correct, yeah.
Castlevania 3, or it's not exactly like Lament of Innocence
Innocence,
or Curse
right.
of Darkness and stuff like that.
Right.
Like it's not literally taking any like
Yeah, they take ideas
they
from
take-
it.
Yeah. And like that's like the thing.
Yeah,
Everyone's
that's
like,
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
like-
need to be. Yeah,
of
like
course.
you said. Yeah.
Really good thing. Greg Kettering, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
What was your favorite fan service nod from season 2? And they said outside episode 7 when the music kicks in, I'd say it was episode 2 when the bosses from Symphony of the Night,
Right.
Slogan, the bird guy with the spear, and Gaibon, the gargoyle, show up and fight.
Yeah. For me, I was very excited when I saw even Hector was in this. I was very pleased to see like Hector and Isaac would be involved in this, and I was super pleased about just like the picture of Leon. Period.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people didn't play the PS2 games, and they're not great games by all means, but I have a soft spot in my heart for those games. Just seeing like some acknowledgement out of all the Castlevania things out there that they acknowledge those two in like a significant way. I was very
Shows a good narrative ideas
Yeah.
can still be embedded in like
Yeah.
not necessarily great or even good
Yeah.
games. It's like that's a credit
Like
to
seeing
the
like
show producers.
the Morning Star
writers.
was really great.
That was mine. Like,
That was
yeah.
really cool and stuff like that. Seeing Alucard turn into the wolf from Symphony of the Night is really great. Oh, like even Dracula doing that big fireball is like a classic kind of thing. A lot of great things like Sypha, like just even like the characters being in their Sypha and stuff like that was awesome.
Everything Brad said.
Yeah,
that was
it's a lot of good fan
Good
service.
stuff. Jesse Abraham says, I watched the last episode 3 times alone. Good stuff.
Yeah,
But I have a hot take.
let's hear it.
Assuming Netflix low budget is the reason for such low frame rate animation, do you think this
fights.
hampers Do you think this hampers a series? Sorry, my phone just screwed up. Do you think it hampers a series from? Do you think this hampers this series from becoming timeless? Like I said, I watched the last episode 3 times. That fight scene and the music is amazing, but the animation still bothers me enough to make it just a flash in the pan series. Will not be going back to rewatch this whole show, but looking forward to season 3. And I assume that is all Netflix cares about. Much better than season 1, so maybe this is just something that will will take time to get better.
Maybe. I'm
So
sure.
did that
yeah.
animation stuff bug you?
No, it didn't really bug me. I did notice it, but it didn't really necessarily bug me. I mean, I wasn't looking for this show to have like the best animation of all time or anything like that. I was just pleased of how well it actually was. So I felt like I was just grateful the whole time of just that it existed.
Yeah.
And more so.
I
noticed like a few things here and there, and I wish maybe some things were a little different, but nothing really like, stood out to me or bugged me where I was like, I hate this.
Yeah, I wonder if going back, they said they watched the last episode 3 times. I wonder if subsequent viewings make it more apparent because you start to look at that more.
Yeah.
But on my first viewing, I did recognize that there was some like, okay, the animation fluidity is not quite there in the fight sequences, but everything I was watching was so good and delivering on what I wanted that my mind was automatically overlooking it.
Right.
I didn't it wasn't until I read this question I was like, oh yeah, it did have, that like those animation hiccups, but
yeah, it didn't have anything bug me like when I think of like back on Berserk, the most recent one, and how there's like all the CG stuff and like that actually like really bugged me. But nothing in here really bugged me that much. But I've only seen it once, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that speaks how good of a first viewing it does.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Like, hopefully when they do season 3, it'll have an even bigger budget.
I bet season 3 gets
because, like, this felt like a significant leap from even season 1 to me.
Yeah.
Especially in the fact that it even got, like, double the episodes.
I think they'll just keep incrementally upping it as long as like the numbers and the praise
do well,
is still there for sure. Gonzalo, it says, "Hello, allies. I did enjoy the second season. I think it had a great payoff. However, how do you feel about half of the series having a lot of dialogue and little action? Love and respect."
I'm cool with it. I think because it gave everything meaning, I would say, and their motives were much more clear. Castlevania definitely is like a simpler, when you look back on the games, a simpler thing all about like action and everything like that. But I think this was like I think they did a really good job of translating this into a show because they can't just make a show with just nonstop action.
Yep.
Like they're basing it off a game, but it has to be a show also at the same time, I feel like.
That's why it was a good adaptation.
Exactly, yeah. It's not the game, it's an adaptation of the game.
It's exactly what we were talking about earlier. I would argue this is like this style is what makes you appreciate the action even more because it's so meaningful when it happens. I want to just like, I'm not comparing Castlevania to the shows I'm about to mention in terms of quality, but like shows like The Wire or Game of Thrones. When a sword is swung, when a shot is fired, it matters.
Yeah, when something's going down, it's a big deal. Yeah.
And I think you should believe that comparison in terms of like how meaningful it was to like someone like us when we said when Bloody Tears kicks in, how awesome it felt because we were waiting for that, and it finally happens, and we get that payoff. Imagine if we had all this like combat leading into there for like the past 6 episodes that played classic Castlevania music through all of them. By the time we got there, we're like, yeah, it's cool, but like
there
we've
could have
heard
been
it.
like just tons and tons of fights of them fighting just like filler monsters. Like, yeah, they fight some of like the Devil Forge monsters, but it's not a ton. Like they fight them like one time in the state. and it's super impactful because
Yeah.
they don't fight them a lot.
You need character development in a narrative show or a film.
Right,
So,
and to me, I really love this universe, so I'm really into all the dialogue and the bits and pieces going around.
yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I really didn't have a problem with it
Yeah.
at all. Bobby Wasabi asks, what do you think about them killing Dracula in season 2? Too soon? Just right? Do you care about the other villains they're hyping up for season 3?
Yeah, I care about... I think it was fine to kill Dracula. It felt appropriate at the time of where he was in his arc, I would say. Like, it felt appropriate. There is more to this universe than just Dracula. Obviously, he's, like, one of the main pieces. But I'm sure he'll be back. I don't think this is the end of
I
Dracula.
think that's a safe bet, Brad, and everyone listening. Not the
I
last
really
season.
feel like Isaac will try to resurrect him.
I think you're not too far off the mark.
Yeah.
And I think I agree. I think it was good timing. I think the story had come to that part. I know you could have maybe dragged it out a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't think making season 3 about they failed to kill Dracula at the end of the season. Now season 3 is about really killing Dracula,
Right.
but like nothing. Like they're obviously going to go in new directions, and I think that's what you need to keep things fresh and interesting. You can't hang on the same kind of like plot point
If
for
they
too
kept
long.
chasing Dracula for like season upon season and season, I think it
Yeah.
would get a bit annoying. But yeah, I'm way cool with them killing him right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I like the other villains too. I think they're all interesting and their motives are really interesting to me, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to see where they go with their stories.
Well, yeah, I want to see more new characters be introduced.
Yeah.
The next question was the one about where we wanted to see the series go, which we already talked about. Here's a question I really like.
Okay.
It's from Michael. Sypha's spellcasting was very reminiscent of the bending done in Avatar.
Uh-huh.
Do you think the creators took any inspiration from Avatar when designing Sypha's casting animations?
Probably.
When I saw that fight scene in episodes of it,
probably.
I absolutely thought that they were
Well,
influenced by
Because in Avatar, it looks awesome when they're doing that kind of stuff.
Like when she's moving her hands
Like,
with the fire, like
doing
she
that
creates the
stuff,
spark,
yeah.
like the little flames. Then she like moves her hands. Then she directs flames
Yeah.
or like summoning the water out. Like
Yeah.
it
Totally.
like Avatar nailed it. Like they also based a lot of their stuff on actual martial arts, so it's rooted in like real life, like fighting styles. And then like the way they animate like nature being the elements being interacted with is just like really good.
Yeah.
So I think there's no shame even if they came out and said yes, like that's a great source to take it
Yeah,
from.
totally.
And yeah, like I appreciated it. I would be shocked if they said they weren't inspired by it. Like
Right.
I think it is. But a quick aside, because we didn't get to talk about this, and I made a note if we didn't talk about this
okay.
yet, I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to say this: her fight, the whole episode 7 fight sequence leading into episode 8, made me seeing these fight scenes in the series. Brad, it makes me wish that I can see in my lifetime a From Software designed Castlevania with Platinum Games.
I've been asking for that
I'm on
forever.
board. I'm on board.
Yes.
Like I see the light
Yeah.
now. I see after seeing this. I like.
Wait till you play Sekiro and you notice the speed and you're like, oh, they could
Okay.
do this.
Okay.
They could do this.
I need to play Sekiro to like see it's like possible, and
Mm-hmm.
now I just need it being Castlevania.
Like, yeah, like they have the resume, I would
Yes.
say, to do that game, that franchise justice.
I'm so on board. Our final question comes from Greg. Greg Ferry, I believe the popularity of the show will inspire Konami to revive Castlevania games, new and old, yet again. What do y'all think?
I think you're already seeing it with Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night coming out the same day as the show. So, yeah, I definitely think that there's an interest. Konami will maybe not make a huge AAA budget Castlevania game, but I think they'll be more interested than they have been in a long time.
I feel like, between that, show dropping, Castlevania Requiem, that's what it's called, the collection's called, dropping, all the Castlevania stuff in Smash Ultimate. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know if this is definitely coming out before Friend Code comes out, but one of the things we talk about Friend Code is a rumor about a certain character from another former Nintendo series possibly returning, and the company now owns the rights to them doing that possibly to see if they would be the genesis for the start of reviving that series as well. I like this seems like the blueprint for doing that, like a show, revivals of old games, and then putting it into a popular crossover game. I could see like 2019, like E3, like them dropping a bomb of
I'm
like.
hoping it's like a Mega Man 11 situation.
Like it needs to be a classic 2D.
Yeah.
Like I know
I think
Iga
it
is
does.
making
Bloodstained.
Bloodstained, but I think there's room for two. Like this year we had room for so many like Metroidvania style games, and they all were pretty successful and well received. Definitely room for more than one style, like Castlevania side-scrolling action adventure game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would be thrilled to see that. Yo, Symphony of the Night 2.
Symphony of the Night 2? I don't remember what's after Symphony of the Night timeline.
I don't know. But like, if they made it look like Symphony of the Night.
What do you mean, like
visually,
the pixel art?
Visually, yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Like how Curse of the Moon looks like the NES games. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would blow me away. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I think I keep calling Konami Castlevania. It's pretty good. Very good slip. But I do think Konami is seeing the interest
Success,
rise.
yeah.
And they probably at some level, at least their gaming division has to desperately see that we would like to turn our image around. Like we got a bad rep.
It depends what they want to do, I guess. Yeah.
And if the upper management and stuff can see the light, there is a path forward where at
if
least
there's profit.
Yeah, like we have Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, and that does well. But like Castlevania could be a thing again.
Yeah,
you know.
And if you don't want it, pass it on to someone else.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Brad. Yeah, if they're all open arms to lending out their stuff, give it to
someone else to make
Platinum. Give it from Software.
Yeah.
It's like just license it to them.
Yeah,
you can do it. Make it happen. Whew.
It's possible. Yeah, what a show.
What a show! Everyone.
Really enjoyed it.
Like.
Stoked for season 3.
I was I don't know if I wasn't paying attention, Brad, but it felt like almost virtually shadow dropped on me. Because the week of, I started seeing tweets about Castlevania returning. I'm like, oh crap, it's now?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dang, I was totally unaware of this. Like I knew other like shows were dropping around this time, like Daredevil season 3. Obviously, got more publicity. The Sabrina the Teenage Witch new version they released on Netflix was also getting a lot of like trailer time from
I didn't know there was
and stuff.
one.
But like Castlevania is like it's still got more to prove and stuff, I guess. But like it is really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm really glad I didn't miss out on it.
I'm glad it exists.
And it's not a huge time investment.
No,
roughly 20 minutes an episode, 8 episodes.
Super chill, easy watches.
Yeah, you can
just kick back.
You can do it in like 2 nights. You can do it all in one day if you really wanted to, but you can do it over like 2 nights if you want to break it up.
Yeah,
I feel like it's great.
Yeah,
and, cannot wait to see where they go.
Yeah, season 3.
Let's go. Thank you, everyone who submitted your questions.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know there was gonna be questions.
We tried it with Daredevil. Like I asked.
That's
Huber,
a cool idea.
Like Huber was on it. I asked Huber ahead of time. I was like, "Hey, do you want to try doing questions?" Like, "Yeah, dude. Like, it's so good."
I think
we
it's
do
a
it
cool
on
idea.
reaction shots.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right," because usually these are about like 20 to 30 minutes for like the TV movie ones.
Mm-hmm.
This one's like just under an hour, so we'll see. Like I think the Daredevil one was about like 45-ish minutes as well, 50 minutes. So we got way more questions than this time. We got like barely enough time for 2 questions in our last for Daredevil.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll see if you like. If you don't like, if you'd rather just to like talk about what we want to talk about, end it there, and rather than diving questions, just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of you who did submit your questions, thank you very much. Again, if you are a $1 and up patron, you get access to the show, as well as that's who I asked the questions from. But your support helps make this show and other shows possible. And I want to thank you, Brad, for sticking around so late.
Oh
on
yeah,
Monday
dude!
night,
Hell yeah! Talking about Castlevania.
Castlevania.
This is like what I was born for.
After I watched it, I was like, I can't wait for Monday night. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually excited to do this.
I was like, oh shoot, dude, I hope I can watch it all before Monday. And I like watched almost all of it in one night.
Yeah, like I was like Friday night. I was like, oh yeah, Castlevania came out, right? I'm gonna watch it now. And then I was like, done.
Yeah.
Really good. Oh, so good. Such a good feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next time, see you all.